I accidentally accused my wife of cheating on me, but actually it was just my daughter, and now we may divorce.
What?
Sorry for the length, a ton on my mind right now. Me, 52 male, and my 50 female wife have been married for 25 years and are immensely happy. We of course have the normal fights, me not cleaning the bathroom, arguing about me losing money on sports betting, her spending twice as much at the shops as we agreed to, etc. But overall, we have a really happy, healthy marriage. Until about 8 p.m. yesterday night. Recently, we've been having a bit of trouble in the bedroom. I don't want to derail the post, but basically, sex has naturally slowed down between the two of us in the last couple of years. This has really bothered my wife, and bothered me a bit also, I will admit. Once we vocalized the problem, we both agreed we're going to take steps to fix some things. We talked to some doctors. Basically, all of them wanted to put my wife on some serious medications, which my wife was pretty against. This led to about a year of building what we call our sex drawer, filled with products in the kitchen that my wife has tried and tested and liked the ingredients of. It's nothing crazy. Literally like little things like vitamin D, zinc, some Lubrisil soft gels, maca. Stuff has been tried and tested. Nothing too wild and all over the counter. Now here's where things start to go downhill. So my wife naturally takes these products around the times we're going to be getting intimate, or try to. Now, I don't like to monitor the kitchen drawer, but sometimes I do peek. I know, but I can't help it. About 3-ish weeks ago, I noticed a ton of pills and soft gels were disappearing. Me thinking I'm about to have a pretty good week, I start to get mentally prepared for it. So about a week after that, I recheck the drawer, and a ton more of the stuff has been taken. I remember thinking, that's weird. We haven't done anything recently. About a week later, the same thing happened. Tons of pills and soft gels are gone. And I'm not going to lie, I get in my head a bit. Last night, me and my wife are out to dinner. After a couple of glasses of wine, I ask my wife why she's been taking so much of the stuff in the sex drawer without trying for intimacy. I asked coming from an angle of both worry, mostly for health, and confusion. Immediately, my wife gets insanely defensive, blows off the conversation and tells me she isn't talking about it. This, of course, makes it where now it's the only thing I want to talk about. And while I respect everyone's, I don't want to talk about this, I think something like this should probably be fucking discussed. I press a bit, and for about an hour, she's not having this convo. Basically, it gets to the point where I just blatantly ask my wife if she's seen other people. My wife, who has never been aggressive or loud, starts basically screaming at me in this Italian restaurant. She tells me my daughter, 25 female, has been having some relationship issues with her boyfriend and has been taking some stuff to help. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you just tell me?
Right.
She goes on a rant about how some things are girl to girl and how my daughter didn't want her telling anyone, which I get, but come on. I buy the things to fill the drawer. My wife ends up leaving the restaurant mid-dinner. I've honestly never seen my wife this mad, and I'm honestly a bit worried for our marriage. And to top it off, my daughter is acting awkward around me. I get that I stepped out of line with the questioning, but the defensiveness really caught me off guard, and I never would have assumed my daughter is using our stuff. It would have been discussed, and I wouldn't have actually cared, and I would have just bought more stuff. Anytime I try to talk to my wife, she makes it seem like I'm an insane, out of control monster, that I've broken the trust in our marriage, and that I've ruined 25 years of progress we've made together. Reddit, am I crazy? I am beyond confused right now.
So I ran away from home. I'm a student doing a study abroad in France, and I had to escape my host family, and here's why. So I moved to France. There is not a single person here that I know. I came here all alone. I'm enrolled as a student here learning French, and so my school set me up with a host family. I was in contact with my host family. I got in at 8 a.m. They told me I could not come to their house until 8 p.m. When I landed at the airport and there was no one there to pick me up, it really hit me. Like, I am alone in this country. I just got overwhelmed with like a feeling of loneliness and, you know, sadness. And so I had 8 hours. Sorry. I had 12 hours. 12 hours to kill. All alone in a new country, nowhere to go, and they tell me I can't come for 12 hours. Thought, you know what, they probably have work, no big deal. When I finally get there, I need a hug so badly. Like I said, I was feeling lonely. I'm feeling vulnerable. I just moved my entire life to a new country. I'm starting over. Today is the day. It's a lot. It's a lot. I could have really used a hug from a mom. When I finally came to their house, I was so excited. I was coming in arms wide open. I was like, hug me, brother. But I'm just immediately greeted with cold. And I'm like, you know what? The French are kind of like this. And it's okay, I'll win her over. Spoiler alert, I did not win her over. So I just moved here, right? I have 2 suitcases. Pink suitcases, yes. I'm rolling up. The first thing she says to me is, oh my God, you have so much luggage. I'm like, girl, that's not even the emotional baggage. This is just the physical package. And so I explain, sorry, I actually just moved here. I'm new here. I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to have a connection here in France. She doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck. I start telling her about my story. I'm like, I started learning French when I was younger. Now I'm 27. She's like, whoa, you're 27? I was like, yes. She was like, I thought you were 20. I was like, I'm 27. Is that a problem? She shows me my room and says, this is your space. I don't really ever come up here. Do what you want. Bye. She didn't even give me a towel for the bathroom. I didn't have a towel. Luckily, there was another girl staying in the next room. She gave me all the information that the mom should have given me, like when we eat breakfast, where the school is, how to get to school, etc. So I asked this roommate, what were you guys doing all day? Like they were busy till 8. Why couldn't I come till 8? She was like, nothing. They've been home all day. I was like, oh, right, but were they preparing my room or something? She's like, no, your room's been ready. The first night, I'm just really sad because I needed that hug, y'all. I needed a mother's love. I'm like, if you're signing up to be a host mom, be a mom. Be helpful. Be kind. I have my first day of school the next day. They say communication is key. If you're ever gonna miss a meal with your host family, you just have to text them and let them know it's no big deal. By the way, my host family is supposed to feed me breakfast and dinner. That's what I'm paying them for. I'm literally paying them to feed me and house me. So our first day is orientation and it's gonna go until 7. My roomie told me that we eat dinner at 6. So I text my mom. I don't get out of orientation until 7. Is it okay if I come later for dinner? Apparently, I found this out later, but she read that message later to my roommate while they were having dinner. Started going off about how rude Americans are. How rude that she missed our first dinner together. When I was at school for orientation day, which my roommate also had when she arrived as well, like a month earlier. And she sent that same message to our host mom. Our host mom had no problem with it when it was her. But now all of a sudden I'm saying I'm in orientation and I'm gonna miss dinner and I'm a rude American. She's talking shit on me to the other student. I come home that night hoping for dinner and her husband is there and he made me dinner. Her husband and I chat while I'm eating dinner. I literally Googled translated how to say, I feel so lucky that I have you guys. I wanted to let them know I felt thankful for them. So I said, j'ai de la chance. Then he puts like his hand on the back of my neck and like strokes my hair. After dinner, I tell them I'm so jet lagged. There's an 8-hour time difference. I'm going to sleep in the next morning. And I go upstairs, I'm getting ready for bed, and I hear just banging doors up in the area that's me and the other student. The area that she told me she never really comes to. What the hell's going on? And then she bangs on my door. Literally, like, I have PTSD. She bangs on my door, opens it, and yells at me, did you slam the door? I just had dinner with them, and then I went to my room. And so I was like, no. It's psychotic to even recount. So I'd say no. I mean, she was the one who was just slamming a bunch of doors. She comes into my room just yelling at me that I slammed a door and it's so rude of me and you're not the only person who lives here and why did you slam the door? And I'm just so confused. So after she freaks the fuck out at me and leaves, I tiptoe over to my roommate's room. I make sure I don't slam any doors. I say, oh my God, did she talk to you like that? This is when my roommate tells me she made that American comment earlier. She's noticed she treats me completely different than her. She says she is always so kind to me. I have never seen her be like this. She said she speaks to us very differently. Now it's giving Harry Potter, Harry living under the stairs. My roommate is Dudley, I'm Harry. Or if you're Les Mis fan, it's giving Eponine and Cosette. I wake up the next morning, the morning I told her I was going to sleep in because I'm so jet lagged, to her screaming out my window. Gemma! Yeah, she's calling me Gemma. She's gone through the paperwork with the school. We have each other on WhatsApp. Jenna. Jenna is my name. When I introduced myself when I came, I said, hello, bonjour, je m'appelle Jenna. She's calling me Gemma. So I hear Gemma out my window and I think, surely she's not talking to me, right? I'm sleeping. I literally shoot up from my bed because I hear this. But after about 5 screams of Gemma, I go over to the window and look out like, oui? And she yells at me to shut my blinds because if the wind blows, they will blow in the wind. She woke me up screaming to tell me that. I go back to sleep because I said I was gonna sleep in because I'm jet lagged. I'm exhausted. emotionally and physically. Then around 11, I go down to the kitchen to have my breakfast and I'm locked out. My roommate's at school and I am locked out of the kitchen. To remind you, I pay her to feed me breakfast and dinner every day. I just text her, hey, the kitchen's locked. Can I please get in there to have breakfast? Like, no response. I just don't eat breakfast and I go to leave. I'm leaving and the gate is not closing and I try it for about 1 minute and it's not closing. I'm trying to figure it out and she comes storming out of the house. Get out of here. I'll do the gate. And I'm like, oh, so you are home and you see me and you know I texted you about the kitchen and you locked me out and now you're telling me to get out. So they have a restaurant here in Nice and that's where we're gonna start eating our dinners every night. So my roommate and I go to the restaurant that night and the dad is the chef, the mom is the waitress. And the dad gets into a screaming fit with one of the employees. There are people there in the restaurant and they're just screaming at each other. And then the dad goes back into the kitchen and he's still screaming, so uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, so these are the kind of people I'm living with. Then the mom tells us that we're getting another roomie, another student is coming to our house this week. She goes, and she's 20 like you, to my roommate, not 27 because we don't like that. The next day I finally have time to unpack. I'm here for months. There's a desk in the corner that's blocked by the dresser. You can't pull out the chair because the dresser is in the way. So I had to pull the desk out so I could use it. I work full time and I'm a student. I need my desk. And so since I pulled that out, I had to move some furniture around. It was very dusty under that furniture, so I went and got some cleaning supplies and I cleaned the floor. And then I did a deep clean of our bathroom, just to be nice, I thought. One of the lamps in my room was broken, so I put it out in the hallway so I would remember next time I leave my room to take it with me downstairs to tell her it's broken. I didn't have to because she actually comes upstairs. I ask her, hey, is it okay that I moved some stuff around in my room? Let me show you. I show her, she looks at it. Oh, it looks really great. She sees the cleaning supplies too and she's like, oh, you cleaned. Wow, it will be so nice and peaceful in here. She sees the lamp and goes, oh, you don't want the lamp? I said, oh no, it's just broken. There's no garbage can in my room or in the bathroom or in my roommate's room. So there's no garbage can on our entire level. I asked her if she has a garbage can that we could use upstairs. She says, no. No. Then she started getting after me about every 30 minutes or less about something new. She came into my room while I was doing my makeup. I had the light on. I was in my room. She comes in, sees that the light's on, slams the light off. Why are you using the light? Why am I using the light in my room while I'm trying to do my makeup? Because I'm in my room trying to do my makeup. And 20 minutes later, she comes to my room. Is this your stuff in the bathroom? We have no garbage, remember? So I had my contacts on the counter in the bathroom and I was going to take them when I went downstairs and put them in the garbage. Is this your trash in the bathroom? Put it away, take it away. We don't share a bathroom. Upstairs is a total separate place than her place downstairs with her husband. She has her place downstairs, she has her bathroom, she has her kitchen. 30 minutes later, she comes up to my room and she tells me something in French and I don't understand because she speaks so fast and she just expects me to understand. I'm literally here learning French and I say, I don't understand. So she goes, you. She was telling me that I walk too loudly. I said, surely not. Certainement pas. I'm 120 pounds. I'm wearing slippers. Not just I'm walking too loud, I'm stomping. She told me I'm literally stomping. And instead of just being like, can you walk quieter? Because I guess I was walking loud. Certainly not. She's like angry at me. Stop walking so loud, you need to be quieter. So I was in a nightmare host family situation in my study abroad here in France. Like it was giving Harry versus Dudley living with the Dursleys. My host mom was like emotionally abusing me and she was not doing that to my roommate who was from Switzerland. It wasn't until she spoke to the both of us at the same time that I realized how crazy the mistreatment towards me was. She comes up to us and she looks at my roommate Leah and she's like, Leah, my sweet darling père ma chérie Leah. Do you have this pillow in your room? Now this is a pillow that Leah had given me. Because she had two and I didn't have one. I go, I have the pillow. She freaking like snaps her neck like I'm surprised it didn't break. Addresses me and it is just a 180 difference from how she talked to Leah. Like, why do you have the pillow in your room? Instead of being a mom and being like, oh, did you need a pillow? Can I help you with anything else? Do you need anything else to be comfortable in my home? So now it's clear. I'm Harry Potter. I live under the fucking stairs. I gave a ton more examples in part 1 of this video, but at this point we know this is like discrimination. This is emotional abuse, and this is just hatred towards me for no reason. I literally had to look this up. Like, what is the word when someone hates you and is like prejudiced towards you because you're from another country? Because I thought at this point she hated me because I was American.
Xenophobic.
Having or showing a dislike or a prejudice against people from other countries. This family is literally being paid to take care of me and feed me. And neither of those things are happening. But really, I just needed to feel safe somewhere. And I did not feel safe there. I didn't trust this woman. I was like, she's out of her fucking mind. Because who treats a student like this? I literally couldn't even walk in that home without being yelled at. Because I'm walking the wrong way. Because I'm stomping. So like day 4 or day 5, I go to my school in absolute tears. I'm a grown-ass 27-year-old woman. And I'm crying, like in the principal's office. So I recount the entire story to my school and I tell them how she's made a few comments about me being 27. And the lady I'm talking to is like, I think this has something to do with the husband. Remember the husband on day 1, like touched my neck, kind of weird. Just don't touch the students that you're watching, you know? Same husband who I found out later on when my roommate goes to the restaurant alone and the wife isn't there, he asks her to come into the kitchen and give him a hug. And when the wife is there, he doesn't say that. Now my school is convinced she thought I was a younger girl, but I'm like a grown-ass woman who's beautiful in her house and she's threatened, which is just disgusting to even think about. So while I'm in the office talking about her, she calls the school. It is literally like we're in a movie, like we're looking at the phone and we're like, Kapta. Well, I leave the office and they answer the phone. And my mom, she doesn't deserve that title, my fucking host mom, conjures up some fucking story because I know she knows I'm gonna talk to the school at some point. She knows she's been mistreating me. She goes off to the school about how I think Gemma doesn't like it at my house. She rearranged all the furniture. She even put some of the furniture out in the hallway. The broken lamp. She used the cleaning supplies without asking. God forbid someone in my house cleans and deep cleans the bathroom for me. She won't come down for breakfast. Then the school says, she said you locked her out for breakfast. No, I had an appointment. Remember, the first day she locked me out was the day I had a problem with the outside gate and she stormed out. I was locked out of the kitchen and she was in the house. But she's telling the school that she was at an appointment and that's why I was locked out. So this puts the school in a really uncomfortable place because they're not there. And you know what? They don't know me. It was so hard to be like, I know you don't know me. I hate that I have to fucking explain this to you. Like, I'm a respectful person. I haven't done anything. I haven't shown them that I hate the place. I don't hate the place. She told me I could move the furniture. Like, sorry, I used the cleaning supplies. I was trying to help. I'm just sitting there trying to explain my character to the school because this mom is like framing me. And so now they don't know if they can believe me or her. And so they just say, we're not taking sides. And then that felt even worse. Cause I'm like, I'm sitting here bawling my eyes out telling you how terribly I'm being abused by this woman at home. Like, just believe me, believe the student. This woman's a grown ass fucking adult. I know she thinks I'm a grown ass fucking adult who's gonna steal her man, but I'm 27, I'm just a student. I just need a mom to take care of me while I'm here. And you know what? Even if her argument is valid, maybe she genuinely thought I didn't like the place because I moved around the furniture and I put the lamp out in the hallway. That is no excuse to be an absolute fucking I said it. She tells the school, I don't want her to leave. I don't want a new student or anything. I just want to let you guys know the situation going on at home. And I just feel like no one is believing me. No one's going to help me. So frustrating not having someone take your side. A person who has the power to stop this woman from abusing other students and they're not going to take my side. At the same time, they're caring about me and they're trying to help me and they're trying to get me in another position, but they just can't take sides. And I'm just so they said they can get me another host family in a week. And they said, do you feel comfortable to stay for one more week? And I said, well, I guess. On the phone, she said she didn't want me to leave, so I'll try. I get home that day. She immediately comes to my room. So did the school talk to you? And she goes, great. So I think it's best you leave. Oh, so you tell the school it's okay I stay, but then you tell me to my face that it's best I leave so it looks like I left and not you asked me to leave. So you can keep your perfect standing with the school. I'm just trying to diffuse this situation because I think this woman's insane and I'm scared of her. I just say, je suis désolée. Je suis désolée. I am sorry. Thinking she will also say sorry. No, just like, you should be sorry for existing and being American and being 27 and hot. I'm like, okay, I don't have anywhere to go. The next day was Saturday. It's a weekend. At 8 a.m., I wake up to her slamming doors upstairs in the area where me and my roommate live. Slamming doors, dropping things like continuously. Like I heard the same item like drop. She picked up, drops, Picked it up, dropped. My roommate texts me, what the fuck is going on? She wants me to feel uncomfortable, or maybe she wants to be as loud as apparently my stomping is to disturb me. I don't know. The next week I'm locked out of the kitchen again for breakfast. I have a class late that night, so I text her that I'm not gonna be home for dinner and ask if she could save me a plate for dinner. I text that in the morning. I never get a text back. Completely ignored. Then I'm sitting at my desk in my room working for about 3 hours before I go to bed. Stationary. Working. I walk to my closet, maybe 6 steps, change into my pajamas, and then walk out and go to our bathroom. When I'm in the bathroom, I get a text from the mom. Reminder, she just ignored me about dinner, ignored me all day, never even texted me. Now I get a text that basically translates to, shut the fuck up. You're walking so loudly. You're not the only person here. Walk quieter and be quiet. 6 steps with motherfucking slippers on. And I've already been yelled at for stomping, so you best believe I'm fucking pitter-pattering. I'm on my releve. I'm literally a ballerina. I'm scared of this woman. There's no way in hell I'm stomping or being loud or making a peep in this house. It really hit me that I'm living in the house with an absolute psychopath. She is delusional. Like, she's lost the plot. She has lost the plot. She is at a breaking point. She's irrational. I do not trust this woman and what she's going to do. And it is just the scariest feeling knowing you are living in a house with someone like this. So I'm on FaceTime with my mom and I'm just shaking and I'm crying and I'm scared and I feel helpless and I feel alone and I feel unsafe. And all my mom can do is just sit there and watch me, and we're just staring into each other's eyes like, and my mom's like, lock the door, do not be alone with this woman, you need to get out immediately. So I spend that night researching Airbnbs until like 2 a.m. I book something for that day. Let this be an example to everyone out there. If you have a bad feeling, get out. Don't wait for something to happen. Sometimes you are the only person who can take care of you, and you need to take care of you. And I waited for my host parents to leave to pack up because I didn't want them to hear me leaving, try and stop me or anything, because I know they're trying to be in good standing with the school. So if I left earlier than the date that the school gave me to leave, I felt like they would try and stop me or maybe hurt me before I go, or honestly even just yell at me before I go. Like, I couldn't take any more emotional abuse. And I pack up and I'm panicking because I have, I fucking moved there. I've got my 2 big suitcases. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this alone. Straighten up, soldier. You gotta do this alone. I didn't want to get my roommate involved because she had no problems with this family. Her living situation was fine, besides the awkward hugs with the dad, which I think is not fine. But I didn't want to get her involved. She came into my room while I was packing and was like, what's going on? And I just broke down crying to her. She cried along with me and said how sorry she was. I'm sorry you've been treated so unfairly. This is not fair, and I will help you get out of here. When I thought I had to do it all alone, she came to my rescue. We go to school, we come back when they're not there, and we escape. While I'm packing up to leave, I get a call from the mom. No reason for her to be calling me. I don't answer. We continue packing. 5 minutes later, she calls me again. I don't answer. We continue packing. We start to get out of the house. Her husband calls. I don't answer. We get out of the house. Her husband calls again. That's 4 missed calls from them. Like, it's clear I'm not answering you. You're harassing me. Stop calling me. And what do you have to say to me? So I'm like, I have nothing to say to you sick fucking humans. Fuck you, actually. I make sure I get to my Airbnb, I get checked in, I'm safe. Next morning, I text them to let them know, hey, I've moved out of your place. You're no longer in charge of me. But I was blocked. They have a student that is in their care that they don't know where the fuck the student is.
So my patient's baby daddy had me all messed up last night. One thing about me, I don't play about my patients. I am team women. You want an epidural? Baby, I got you. So my patient is screaming in pain, like she's not coping well. It was bad. She says, I want my epidural. I'm like, okay, girl, I got you. Let's get the process going. He like, oh, you don't need that. You can do it natural. Let's stop right there. What you're not going to do is tell a woman what she can do and what she cannot do. Until you can hold a baby and carry a baby, pump your brakes, sit down, shut up. I said, sir, I'm going to need you to have a seat. I don't care what you say, because right now in this room, you don't even exist. He like, oh, well, it's my baby too. Okay, I don't care. You aren't carrying this baby. You have no say. So he getting mad. Okay, you can get mad all you want to, but it ain't gonna change what happens in this room. She's getting her epidural. So you either gonna sit down, shut up, or you're gonna get up out this room. But either way, my girl's getting her epidural. One thing about me, I'm advocating for my women. I'm advocating for my girls.
Okay, I think enough time has passed that I can tell you guys the crazy story of why and how my ex and I broke up. So, my ex moved from interstate to live with me. And so he didn't really know anyone else that wasn't my friend in our town. So we were talking about getting married. We were talking about spending our lives together. I thought we were getting engaged in like the next 6 to 12 months sort of thing. And then this woman named Joanne moves in next door. Now, it took us a while to warm up to Joanne because she was a little bit vague about her past. Like, we would ask her where she was from and she would kind of dance around the question. We would ask her, like, if she's married, she would dance around the question. She just wasn't very forthcoming with information about her past. But we were like, oh, none of our business. Maybe there's some trauma there. Good for her. But she seemed pretty lonely. She didn't really know anyone in town either. So the three of us would hang out. We would do things together. We really started to trust Jo. We'd hang out all the time. Another strange thing about Jo is that she had a chemical burn to her eye, a chronic injury, right? It was a long time ago. It was healed and she should have been wearing an eye patch. But instead, she would just tape cotton, a new piece of cotton to her face every day. Very strange. Anyway, the relationship kind of turned from like the three of us being friends and her and I being closer to her messaging my boyfriend more and stuff like that. But I wasn't super worried about it because he's a friendly guy and whatever. So one day I go on a work trip and my boyfriend's like messaging me a little bit less than usual, but still messaging me. And I come home and he's gone and all of his stuff is gone. And I'm like, what the? So I start calling his family. I start calling my family. I start calling our mutual friends. I start calling anyone I can think of because he's not answering. And I'm like, where has he gone? Does anyone know where he's gone? And some people were like, we can't tell you that. It's not for us to disclose. I'm like, okay, so this is weird. He's plotted something crazy, weird. What have I missed here? Like, I'm like blaming myself, blah, blah, blah. And I had tried to text Joanne next door, Jo, and she didn't reply. And I was like, she always replies to me. This is getting mad sus. So about 2 weeks later, I go over to her house and I knock on the door and a man answers. I've never seen a man over there. And I say, hi, is Jo home? And he says, Joanne? Yeah, she was the previous tenant, right? And I was like, she's moved out? He's like, yeah, she moved away with some blonde guy. I was like, do you have a forwarding address? He says, yes. He gives me the address. It's only an hour away. I drive there. Sure enough, both of their cars are there. They're living together. They're together now. So I don't know where she come from. I don't know where she go. But if it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago.
Will I be the astronaut if I don't work at the office because of my stepdaughter? I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, 43 male, for 3 years now, together for 5 years. His daughter, 22 female, has hated me since day one. For context, I've never once tried to mother her, and I've only tried to be a supportive adult. In the beginning, I tried everything to extend an olive branch. I financed a car for her in my name, and I added her as an authorized user on my credit cards to help establish her credit after she turned 18. No matter what I did, there was always open hostility and blaming me for anything that went wrong in her life. She gets pulled over for a DUI. It's my fault because I must have called the cops on her and told them. She loses something. It's my fault because I must have stolen it from her. The examples are endless. It got to the point where she told my husband that he had to choose between us, and when my husband stood by my side, she didn't attend our wedding and had no contact with us for 1.5 years. She resumed contact when she wanted his help, but it was always with the caveat that I was not around. She throws fits whenever I am involved, even if it's as simple as we invite her to dinner. She's always asking for money since resuming contact, since she refuses to hold a job. He ended up paying for her rent, gas, groceries, and fund money for over 1 year. Well, he finally cut her off financially and only gave her the opportunity to earn money by cleaning our office. He started the business and I worked with him. We had previously closed the office down and went full remote, but we recently opened a new office and he's hired his daughter to do the cleaning, which was supposed to be during business hours, a set day each week. I was planning on doing hybrid work and taking an office, but I recently learned that he's going to let her have a key and come in when she'd like, unsupervised. I was extremely uncomfortable with the thought of her having any unsupervised access to any space that I call my own, considering her continued hostility towards me. Will I be the astronaut if I tell my husband that if she's allowed to clean unsupervised, then I will stick with working fully remote? Edit to add more context, her mom and dad were together for 16 years but had been divorced for 3 years before I met my husband. She was originally no contact with her mom, but then chose to go between her parents to get to be able to do what she wanted. She dropped out of high school in 10th grade and hasn't even tried for her GED. Mom has been married for 4 years and together with her husband for 5 years, and they have 2-year-old twin girls together. Also, I don't want to work in the office since I would be worried about what she possibly could do to anything that I leave there, as she's been pretty vindictive in the past. There's definitely a risk involved here. The question is, will I be the astronaut if I don't work at the office because of my stepdaughter?